We are so happy to have you, Charlestown Now, come and present. Eagerly awaiting this presentation. We've got our numbers as close to final as we can get them. We had our presentation, and now conversation is so we can have. Terrific. Thank you for making time.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm Angela Cable Johnson, a board member of Charlestown Now and a realtor with Sampson Properties, specializing in historic renovation, commercial development, and tax credit projects. Charlestown Now, as an accredited Main Street America organization since 2018 and in existence as a registered nonprofit since 2011, is recognized by the City of Charlestown and dedicated to the revitalization of our Main Street, driving economic development, vitality, marketing, and community events that make our town thrive. Thank you all for being here. Tonight, I want to talk about our shared commitment to Charlestown, a place where history meets opportunity and our past inspires our future. As a community, we have a unique chance to preserve the charm and character of our historic town while embracing thoughtful growth that benefits us all. The buildings on Washington offer Main Street the ability to increase commerce by an entire block. These buildings on Washington are part of Charlestown's historic district, managed by the National Register of Historic Districts. The 1997 assessment designated all of these structures as contributing to the historic district except the Mason building. Now that it is over 50 years old, a reassessment would need to be completed to include it. Note that any changes to the exterior of the buildings would need to go through the city's Historic Landmark Commission. At Charlestown Now, we're dedicated to fostering a vibrant, thriving community. My work as a realtor and experience in construction, renovation, and development allows me to see firsthand the potential in our historic properties and the promise of smart commercial growth. These projects don't just restore buildings, they revitalize neighborhoods, create jobs, and attract visitors who fall in love with our town's story. By leveraging tax credit programs, we can make these transformations sustainable, ensuring that our growth respects our heritage while building a stronger economic future. It is our job at Charlestown Now to work with new investors in our downtown, whether it be a building purchase, revitalization, or new business going into an available space. For 13 years, I've been part of Charlestown Now's mission. Together, we've witnessed millions of dollars invested by building owners and merchants breathing new life into our Main Street. Projects like the Abolitionist Ale Works building, once buried under 6 inches of pigeon dirt and home to 100 pigeons, was one of my projects, and it was also a tax credit project. Charles Washington Hall, the city's impactful investment in downtown, stands as a testament to our commitment. The Stevenson Building, another one of my projects, where many of you just attended the ribbon cutting just a few weeks ago. Our historic hardware store, restored so beautifully by Dandridge Realty, and finally, the Depot District Building. All of these projects have contributed to our upward trajectory, with more projects just like these in the works. These efforts have attracted astute, financially savvy buyers who create unique spaces, drawing better tenants and strengthening our downtown. Make no mistake, these investments have also increased the assessed value of these buildings, garnering increased tax dollars for our county. Main streets are timeless, and small businesses are the core of America. Unlike big box retail or shopping centers, which have a 20-year lifespan tied to shifting roads and traffic patterns, our buildings endure. They adapt, reinvent, and serve new businesses while fostering a sense of community, civic pride, and gathering spaces that define us. Main streets and these buildings on Washington were designed to be a place of commerce, multi-use buildings with markets and shops on the first floor and residential on the second floor. But what makes a successful Main Street today? Main streets need restaurants, retail, culture like art and music to be successful. We do not need vape stores, first floor office space, churches, schools, storage units, or service type businesses on Main Street. Those types of tenants are a death sentence for Main Street because when you lose the street level draw, you lose everything that makes a town lovable. We have active businesses waiting to move onto our Main Street. We need these spaces. I am also here because our merchants, investors, and residents deserve our steadfast support during this critical time. For over 240 years, the county government has been a cornerstone of our business district. while we not only understand but support your move to these new buildings. While this can be an exciting opportunity, the vacating of these buildings puts our Main Street in a potentially precarious position where it can either grow and thrive into the future with a planned redevelopment plan, or it can suffer the blight of empty and underutilized buildings. Our merchants have already endured significant challenges, a massive shift in downtown traffic when APUS moved to these very buildings that you just purchased, and then shifted to a work-from-home model, followed by the devastating impact of COVID. Just as they begin to recover, this new change looms. Our town is at a serious precipice, something that we have all seen in other small towns where redevelopment and planning for the future isn't taken seriously. We now ask that you reach into your collective and personal moral compass and ensure that the redevelopment of these vital buildings to our Main Street doesn't leave our businesses, merchants, and residents shattered. Moreover, we ask that you acknowledge those who have invested millions of dollars to date and ensure that their investment is neither underserved nor ignored. If mishandled, those buildings could sit empty for years, casting a shadow over our town's vitality. So what can Charlestown Now offer to you? We bring a robust toolkit and willingness to collaborate. We have already engaged a highly respected retail and redevelopment specialist and are ready to sign the contract and get started. The final analysis from this expert is something any seasoned investor is going to demand. We can guide potential buyers through the historic tax credit process, new market credits, and public-private partnership agreements. Historic tax credits are up to 45% of a project's value between federal and state. These tax credits provide substantial equity into historic renovation. They can be used on the investor's own tax return, or they can be sold so that the cash is infused into the project. Typically, they are sold so that the projects such as these pencil out and are workable. New market tax credits can be used in conjunction with historic tax credits. Public-private partnerships can utilize grants that are only available to municipalities and other organizations. With most of these programs, the larger the project, the better the opportunities. For example, if there is one single investor for all the buildings on Washington, rather than individual purchasers, it will create a greater chance of receiving some credits and potential grants. We can also explore loan programs, economic incentives, and other grants with a buyer. This is my expertise. It's what I do for a living. I've worked on projects like Interwoven in Martinsburg and the ongoing redevelopment of the old National Fruit Plant there, which is another one of my projects. Our goal is simple. Create a smooth process for you and the buyer. Allow you to focus on your new project here while we handle the heavy lifting to help begin redevelop these buildings. This creates a win-win for our community. And the best part, our work and support comes to you at no cost. It's what we do at Charlestown Now. The reality is this: you get to sell these buildings once. But if redeveloped properly, you'll benefit from new assessments and collect increased tax dollars for years to come. That's a win for you because right now you are collecting zero taxes on these buildings as the government owner. Do a five-year spreadsheet on potential taxable income for the county with the buildings at peak value post-renovation and calculate that income. We have heard a talking point that the people of Jefferson County care more about the revenue generated from the sale of these buildings than what these buildings become. Our market study from 2021, along with ears to the ground involvement, implore you to really ponder that statement. Our community needs and requests more shopping, dining, and activities. We know that is our greatest need. If you are wondering if there is a market for this, we can promise you there is. Liz Cook, Business Development Coordinator for the City of Charlestown, works with people regularly that want a space downtown. The interest in 213 West Washington is a testament that we could have many additional restaurants here, but that takes a considerable investment and available spaces. The Hunter House was once a restaurant, and it could be again, but the conditions must be right. You, as commissioners, can make those conditions right by creating an RFP process for people to submit redevelopment proposals so that a board of vested parties can choose the best fit for the community as a whole. There is a need, there is an opportunity. As a county that is growing as a suburb of the Washington-Baltimore corridor, there is no excuse to allow Charlestown, which has so much history and progress, to take a downward spiral. Our residents demand and deserve better from all of us sitting in these decision-making positions. In closing, Charlestown Now is here, ready to roll up our sleeves and work side by side as your partner to strengthen our community. It's time to work together for the future of Charlestown. Without successful communities, the county can't survive. After serving as the cornerstone of our main street since the founding of Jefferson County some 240 years ago, I now invite you to collaborate with me in creating a lasting legacy that would honor Charles Washington, fostering growth and prosperity for generations to come. Thank you for allowing me to speak on behalf of Charlestown Now. I look forward to talking to you in the future.
Thank you. Thank you. And do you want to take questions now, or did you?
If you have some.
Great. Anybody want to start off, or I can start off? You mentioned a couple of projects in Martinsburg. Can you tell us about work that you're doing in Charleston?
I did the Stevenson building in Charlestown. I worked on abolitionists. So basically when I get a property like that needs to be sold, I take it from very beginning to the closing table, and during the contract process, we do due diligence with contractors, EPA studies, the tax credits, all of it. Like, I walk my buyers through that entire process to get them, because ideally you don't want to go to closing on a property and purchase it if all the eggs aren't in the basket where they need to go. It has to be, these projects have to be formulated just right and pencil out, or they won't work. And then you end up with one like the Stevenson building sitting up there for 20 years because it didn't pencil out.
Angie, what is the average due diligence period that you would need to do the studies and then work with the tax credit office and then go to closing?
Depending on the time of year and how much stuff somebody has, and it depends on the property, Steve. Like, you know, some properties, like, we have to do serious EPA phase 1 stuff, right? Properties like this, you just do a really easy, like, phase 1, and that's simple. It's not contaminated, that kind of thing. So I would say if no more than 6 months.
Okay. And
It can be less.
I was going to say 6 months, but I wanted the commissioners to hear that.
Yeah, it can be less than 6 months, depending on the project. You know, if you had somebody who purchased all of Washington Street together, it might take a little longer because you're dealing with a whole bunch of buildings instead of one. You know, but a seasoned investor who would purchase those really has their ducks in a row and knows the process and can bang it out very quickly. It's a formula.
Okay.
It's all a formula.
And part of me asking that question, I wanted to get your thoughts, see how long the due diligence would take. I just wanted to set the time frame, so once we move out, you know, there might be 6 months before it goes to closing, so we might want to start marketing these buildings sooner, before we move out, and to try to get somebody in to start maybe doing some study, further study period, doing the environmental studies and stuff. So, thank you.
Yeah, you guys can do all of that, like, right away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And of course, if we do that, they would have to sign some disclosures, and we'd have to walk them through the building if we're still located.
Right. At some point, you're going to have to open the buildings up so
Yeah.
people can actually see them
Yeah.
and know what's in there. And
Because
I mean, I did a lead and asbestos study on 14 buildings at National Fruit in one day. It can be done.
Yep.
You just have to know what you're doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
all right,
That's good to know.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much.